Back on Facebook. Hello, I'm back in Ohio. Yeah, what a past 3 weeks have been pretty busy with family, being a grandma. So much fun. So I'm trying to get back into this headspace of painting. You know, you travel through life and you're doing a lot of stuff and you get busy and you're like, I want to paint. I want to draw. You know, you get this niggling in your head and you get so far away from it that when you finally have the energy to do it, it's like, oh my gosh, I forget what I'm doing. It's part of being an artist. If you're here, welcome. You are officially an artist, right? So I realized I'm not really projecting my voice. I'm kind of mumbling because I'm trying to come into this headspace, this place of being present and getting to paint. I've got this thing that I want to do. There was a request to do the tulips. And it's interesting because when I came home, I looked out the back window and all I see are two little sticks. So we have deer and the heads are completely gone. So I guess they're tasty. So what I thought would be fun to do is let's just get this thing started and kind of dip our toes into it. And there was a request of one of the sisters, like, could you paint this, one of these tulip photos? And Susan, if you haven't caught it, she dropped her painting in the comments below. It's somewhere in the sisterhood. Sorry, I'm in that art brain right now. But take a peek. It was awesome. I love it when y'all paint or draw, you drop it into the group. It's like Christmas for me to see what y'all are making. It's fun, and it's fun sharing it. Okay, enough of that. So, you know, I was thinking, which one should I do? And when I was a newbie at painting, I always liked buying books that showed what the artist was looking at and what they end up painting. And I felt I'd like to see how they interpret what they saw. And even as I talk about that, here I am, the artist, getting ready to do this painting for you all. And, you know, I have an idea of what I want it to look like, but it's not, so doing demos live can be a challenge, and let's see where this thing goes, okay? So we'll begin. My hope in this next 20 minutes, if I can get my head focused, I'm going to show you the photo. We're going to work from a picture because they don't exist anymore. And I'm just going to kind of walk through what I think about as I'm assessing, looking at the photograph, what I'm thinking about. And then I'm going to draw it onto the paper. I have bought this small block watercolor paper. I'm going to draw it on to the page. I'm going to block it in. What does that mean? I'm going to mix some color, and then I'm going to lay in some color. So I'm going to do a block in. And it's my hope just to get to that point and not get too far ahead, because this is the thing I learned in my process of learning being an artist. When I watch someone else paint, and it's really fun watching people paint. I love it. I love watching other artists work. But when they would do a demo from start to finish, and I'd walk away, all I can remember is that last 20 minutes. So then when I set up to do my painting, my interpretation, all I could think about was the last bits. So today what we'll do is I'll get you through the first steps, what you think about, how you how you draw it onto the page, and some color mixing. and just kind of laying in some color. So the beginning steps, so that you can take this video, watch it, and follow me, that part. And then next week, it's my hope to be able to take it up to the next level. So it becomes this, it looks real, this idea of it looking real. Because when I start painting and drawing, it doesn't look real. Okay, let that kind of set. There's a process to reality, and there's different levels of real, looking real. So see, now I just shifted into another gear. So I'm running down a rabbit hole. So I'm gonna pull myself back, and we're gonna sit right here. Okay, so I'm gonna change. And if there are any questions, pop it in the comments. And then Mark he's my wingman, and he's sitting in the background. He'll call out if someone has a question, okay? So let's get started. I'm going to change the cameras and walk you through it. Okay, so this is the photograph I'm looking at. And what I see are basically, and it's 3 colors. I've got the reds, the red family. I have the green family. And then I have brown. But when I say brown, brown isn't a primary or secondary color. It's a name we call a general color. So this right here, no, say I just blocked myself. When I see this color, I see warm yellows. I see some purples. There might be some blue in it, but it's a combination of the primary colors. And that's this shape wraps around it. Do you see that? That's one shape. And then here's the green shape. And then here is the red shape. So this tan, brownish, dead color wraps around it. The green pushes into it. And the red looks like almost 2 squares. Do you see that? Overlapping squares. Okay. So when I go to draw this, and this is really important, for the sake of you being able to see it, I'm going to draw it dark. But when you draw it on your paper, keep it light, okay? So I'm going to begin, and there is no, you can begin wherever you want, okay? There's no right or wrong, no rules here, but I personally want to start with the tulips. I want to establish where they're at. So I've got this top tulip here. And then I have this bottom tulip here. They're basically 2 squares with a low kick out. Mark, can you see that on the camera?
Yes.
Okay. Then this green shape, do you see how it looks like almost like it's pushing into it? So the green shape will come here. Got a couple of these. I could just kind of gently indicate. They aren't straight line, but they're just kind of a jaggy line, okay? There's one stem right here. And it just kind of comes down in. And there's a stem right here. Yeah. The leaves, these this pattern of leaves, it starts up about here in relationship to the tulip head. So this shape is a little bit darker in color through here. And then that leaves this flat color up there. So we have a green area. We have a red area. And then we have this this grayed version, this grayed tone. Gray, brown. I'll just use the word brown. I hate using the word brown because then we want to use the color brown in our palette, and my brain just went dead. So I'm gonna let that one go. So now I have these shapes of color. Okay, so this is the beginning. This is the beginning. And as I say that, I feel like I want to make these tulips. I want to just give them a little bit more definition while I'm here. Now I'm going to be real careful not to get too detailed here. So I'm just kind of pushing and pulling this square. And then this leaf comes out. There. It's hard to see. You see this little petal right here? You can grab that one too. So then there's a petal here. There we go. There's a petal back here. And none of this has to be perfect. There. There. There's tulip 1. And then let's do tulip 2. So do you see how this petal comes up and around? It's real pretty. And it stems from this base here. And it comes up and around. And nothing has to be perfect here because it's my painting. And it's the way I see what I see. In the finished, no one will ever see the original. So this is just me playing. Okay. I'm okay. I think I'm okay with this. And then I'm going to put the stem. See how it goes wider? Here, it goes wider there. And then comes down. There we go. All right. I think then I look at it and you know what? I just realized, so this is a back leaf, but there's a little bit, it's a cupping effect. So there's a little bit of a, yeah. There we go. Okay. Let's put I feel like I want to put, right now it's just as ambiguous green, but since I'm working in watercolor, I'm going to define where the leaves are. If I were working in oil or acrylic, I could just lay in the color and then build out. But since watercolor is a little bit, it's good to have a little bit more drawing established, because if you've never worked with watercolor, it's not as forgiving. Oil and acrylics, you can play. You can move the color around. Watercolor, you're a little bit more, once it's down, it's hard to move. It's a little trickier. So there's a leaf here that comes out. There's a leaf here that comes out. There's a leaf back here. And then a leaf here. And here. Okay. And this is just going to be what I would call a watercolor sketch. So it's just play. I guess all paintings play, but I'm not going to get too picky. I just want it to be loose. I don't want to get too tight with it. This is a dark. I think that's good. Okay, so we have a couple leaves here. Point on that. There's our initial drawing. Okay. So now I have it drawn. Now I'm going to set this aside and let's talk about color. So with color, the way I talk about color is warm and cool, a color family. So if it's a green, this is a green family, this is a red family, and this, so when I say family, you want red, blue, yellow, or green, orange, purple. So basically, these are the primary, red, blue, yellow, and the secondary. When you mix red and blue together, you get purple, blue and yellow, you get orange, red and yellow. No, I said that wrong. Blue and yellow, you get green, red and yellow, you get orange. So these are the color families. So I always start with the color family. So red, that's easy. Green, easy. This background, it's not quite so easy. Yeah, it's brown, but I need to pick a color family, and I'm going to pick purple. Okay, and I'm going to start with purple because I love purple. So I'm going to start with that. It's a purple-based brown. Then I pick this color here, and I look at the greens, and it's warm and cool. So we have warm color greens that are more lean to the yellow, and we have cool color greens that lean more to the blue. Do you see that? So we have warm and we have cool greens. Then when I look at the red, I have warm red in the light and cool red in the shadow. Can you see that? We have warmer, more that red that is tint with like a bit of yellow, kind of this is warm. And then we have as in the shadow. They lean a little bit more to the cool red, so that means it has a little bit of blue in it. You see the shifts? And then background color would be obviously not purple, but if I take purple and yellow and mix them together, then I can get interesting, muddied, gray tone background that would make this pop. Are there any questions? That's a lot. I'm giving you a lot, but this is how I look at my color. Is it warm? Is it cool? Is it another thing? Is it dark? Is it light? Value. It's dark to light. So this is a light, warm green, and this is a dark, cool green. Okay. Do we have any questions out there, Mark?
No questions, just a lot of parts.
A lot of parts?
Parts, yeah.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to switch the camera. Yes, there are so many moving parts here, right? And there's a lot of things to think about. But these are just words that I'm saying. Just kind of let them wash over you. Don't get hung up on them. Because the real brilliance happens when you can just sit there and respond. Okay? So what I'm handing, what I'm gifting you, what I'm giving you, are things that are in my brain when I'm starting to think. And when I think about these things, because my problem when I first started, I'd run to the location, I'd drop my paintings, and I'd start painting. I'd tack. And I didn't give myself a chance to slow down. And what would happen is I'd get this thing, and it wasn't what I thought it would be, and then I'd end up hating it. And then I'd be like, I need to slow down. And then the cycle would go again. So there's a lot of moving parts here, but it starts with looking at the image, breaking it into simple pieces, tightening up around the focal point, around the tulips, just tightening up a little bit, setting it aside, looking at the colors. I teach this in my class, in my studio, applied art and color theory. It changes your life. It's amazing. And once you go through the process, it changes everything. Warm and cool. What color families? I'm looking at green, red, and this gray tone, that's purple base. Okay? All right, let's make some color. And then we'll just block it in, and then we'll walk away. And then try it. Okay? Give it a try. Yes. All right. Bringing back the camera. All right. So, paints. This is one of those things, do what I say, don't do what I do. So, I'm really bad leaving my paints dirty. And with watercolor, to get clean watercolor paintings, you need clean paint, right? That's kind of makes sense, but it's hard to do, trust me. It's hard for me to do. I've seen other painters, their stuff is impeccably clean. I've got a student, her paintings are so beautifully clean, and she does these beautiful birds. Beautiful. Diane, your birds are beautiful. Okay. So what I have here, these are travel kits. This is a Rembrandt. And when you buy, here's a note, when you buy watercolors, this is one thing. if you're interested in watercolor painting, you want to buy expensive paints. You can't cheap out. You can cheap out on watercolor paint or oil paints or acrylics, but you can't do it with watercolor. And why? You'll be fighting it. You'll be struggling, and you'll be spending so much trying to make something nice out of cheap paint, and it's not worth the struggle. And if you buy nice paint, it lasts a long time. So this is Rembrandt. It's my favorite. I have other Winsor Newton. It's okay, but the color in Rembrandt's nice. And these, I love these little kits. You get them at Hobby Lobby. And these are squeeze tube paints. I won't get too deep into the different materials. I can probably put a list. But Daniel Smith watercolor tube paints are really nice. So what I do, I'm going to mix a green. And I don't have any yellows here. My yellows are up here. And I have regular green paint that I can use if I want. But if I just take it like this, do you see how acidic the color is? It's just really like Gumby green. It's not pretty. So I have the greens here, and I'm getting into too much detail. Okay, so I want to pick a mid-tone light, not mid-tone, but a light warm green to block in. Because with watercolor, you start light and you go dark. Start light and you go dark. It's easier to darken in watercolor than it is to lighten. So I'm just going to throw some color down and see what I get. And I'll test it. Oh, that's pretty. And can you see it, Mark? Yeah. That's pretty. If I want to warm it a little bit, I've got a cool yellow and a warm yellow. Yeah. I want, that's pretty. So it's a blue, yellow, cool yellow, a warm yellow. And the way I paint is I don't worry about getting things perfect in color. It doesn't have to be a perfect mix. I'm going to take off some of this graphite, because if you get too much pencil, it'll muddy up your color. It'll lift the graphite into your paint. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it. And I'm just going to lay it in here. And these light spots, I'm not even going to touch them. I'm going to leave them white. And I'm just right now playing. I'm just dabbing, playing, just kind of moving color through. And this is a little bit darker. Okay, stop breathing, so I gotta breathe. This is going on a lot darker than what I thought it would go on. That's all right. Oh, I like to see this color in here. I'm just gonna put some blue. I grabbed some blue, and I just want to make it a little bit darker. And what I'm doing, I'm kind of going around and I'm finding these dark shapes in here. And this back here is a darker green. So I'm just kind of plopping in these colors without much thought, okay? Just staying away from trying to stay away from the petal. I got into a little bit, but that's all right. And then I want this color back here. I'm going to clean off my brush and water. I got a thing of water right here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of color right between here. Oh, that's pretty. I'm just being gentle now with the light. Now, there is some green over in here. And there. Okay. Oh, that's my green area. Yes. Okay, let's do red now. Oops, lost it. The red is, let's see, so this is a cad red, and look how it's not a real pretty red, but that's because it's dirty. So I'm working out of dirty water. Okay. But I've got this color right in here. Oh, do you see how warm that is? No, cool. That's a cool red. That's pretty. Do you see how warm red? You see the difference? I thought I had another one that was pinker, but I don't. Here's one too. Oh, look at this one. So this is almost a purple. You see that? So here's a warm red. It's almost like a fire engine red. Here's a cool red. And then that's more of a purple. So let's try this. All right. So I've got I'm going to throw some yellow in this red. Okay, I'm going to start doing things to see if I can get something I like. It's not quite so dead. So I'm going to spice it up with this other one. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that's a pretty color. See it? So when you I'm going to put just a little bit of yellow. So I'm just taking my color palette and I'm just playing. I'm just, do you see how I just stab? It's just, and play, mix lightly and test. Okay. All right, I've got some puddles here. I'm going to erase my line a little bit. All right, how are we doing in time, Mark?
So you're at 32.
Okay. So I'm going to just lay this color in. I'm going to do something here. I'm gonna lay some yellow down. There's something about yellow that's so pretty. Has an undercolor. Let's see if it works. Okay. Okay, I'm going into painting. I didn't want to do this. I wanted to lay color down. Okay, that probably didn't make sense to you all, but I wanted to keep it just a block in. Keep everything nice and light. There we go. I'm just kind of finding my way through it. All right, I think I'm okay with that. And then what I'd really like to do is get to that dead color. And then I'm just gonna put here. So I'm just keeping everything light. And you're, yeah, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. And we're done. Okay, real quick. All right, that's where we're at right now. Let's go into the browns. Okay, so I gotta find a purple in here that I like. And watch what happens when I put down a yellow on top of it. And paint palette etiquette, start with the light and put the dark onto it. Ooh, look at that one. What's that? Ooh, that's pretty. If I just pull a brown color and then you get the difference. Okay, here's just a brown paint. Do you see, can you see the difference? This is just, it's a dead color, but look at the vibrant richness in that. Can you see the difference? And really, it's just a red, a blue, ooh. And then see how berry that is? And if I put just this, oh, too much. Oh. I'm going to brighten it up a little bit. I kind of like that. The way you lighten color is to add more watercolor. And I'm going to turn it upside down. Ooh. Kind of like that. Okay. And then the darker color, but you know what? I'm going to add, now on here, the side, it's darker and lighter. So there's some lights coming through. So I'm just going to make it a little bit darker. But when I put it down, I'm going to make sure I leave some lights in it. Do you see that? And I can always go through and make it actually darker. Yeah. Okay, can't breathe. I'm just hunting stabbing so I can get it done real quick. And this is our block in. And put some over here and some here. That's flat. Like this. And this. Okay. I'm going to stop for now. And I'm going to end it because right now my tulips are lost. Your power. I'm just gonna put some red. All right. I think I'm gonna stop for now because there we go. All right. There. That's where I'm gonna stop at. Next week. Let's see. Any questions, Mark? Nothing? Okay. So next week we're going to take this. We're going to take this, what I've got, and we're going to make it cohesive. We're going to bring it together and turn it into a painting, next level finish, and yeah, and have fun. And we'll see you next week.
That's what Susan was asking. So how to add the fine detail.
Yeah. So let's let this, because there's a lot of detail in here. There's a lot of pieces and darks and lights in here that we can play with. And next time, so with watercolor, it was my intention to go on just flat color, but that didn't happen. But the thing with watercolor is letting some of these lights pop through, just naturally pop through. And then next time I'll show you how to add the darks to bring out the light. So light is light because there's dark beside it. Okay. So I'll show you how to do that. And then we'll bring this to a finish. And then I'll show you how to put black line on it. Okay. Yeah, did it. All right. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Go outside. It's supposed to be beautiful and paint something. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.